All right. What is going on, everybody? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Nope. John.
Happy
No,
holidays.
John, don't sing that. We're going to get flagged. And that's it. The video,
Oh, no.
The audio will be removed from the
Oh,
video.
jeez.
We'll have a silent podcast, which will be pretty
Spread
worthless.
some Christmas cheer.
So,
Change the words or something.
it's cold in here, John. Do you see the snow? It's cold in here.
It's been a lot of snow lately.
Yes. Well, that's actually very true.
I don't really appreciate this fake snow, Phil. I've been dealing with the real snow.
Dude, I told you, I didn't leave my condo for a week. Yesterday was the first day. It was so bad. All right,
Lucky man.
so welcome, everyone, to Smark Guys. It's the first time in several weeks that we've done the show, and we've got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened. Titles have changed hands.
Really? Wow.
Unified, separated.
U.S. title?
Lots
changed
of things, yes. U.S.
The
title.
cruiserweight belt?
I forgot there even was a U.S. title.
The European? The hardcore title?
I seriously forgot about it. So, all right, so we're going to be talking about WWE and TNA. We're not going to be recapping everything that we've missed the past few weeks. That would take far too long. We're basically just going to get you up to speed on what's been going on with certain programs, and we're going to recap the most recent shows for each promotion. So this was a huge week this week because we're coming out of the TLC pay-per-view with the title unification match, but we also had TNA's Final Resolution fake pay-per-view where they were going to have their new champion crown. So a lot going on, and we're going to talk about that in today's show. By the way, I'm Darkside Phil, and with me as always is John Rambo. I skipped the whole intro. Oops. That's cool. I like that. Oh, what are you doing?
What?
You did the John Cena.
No, I
Don't do that. Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Subliminal messaging.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yes. So, all right. So
Product placement. It's like
There you
WWE.
go. There
It's
you
like
go.
we're talking about our new Smart Guys app.
That's right.
We'll tell you how to download it.
4 times during the show, we'll tell you
Because
about
we just assume our audience is so dumb that they can't download an app. We have to take 20 minutes out of a show to explain it.
Pretty silly.
You know. Yeah.
All right. So, first of all, let's get everyone up to speed on WWE. This whole past month has been all the hoopla and the hype
Hoopla.
that they're going to do this title unification at TLC.
Yeah.
Now, a few weeks ago, we talked about this, and we said how stupid it was. You know, that if you're going to do a title unification, make it mean something. When you have Orton versus Cena, and they've already done this 5,000 times, it doesn't really mean anything.
Plus, it's kind of a weird time. They decided to do it like 3 weeks before.
Right, out of nowhere. It wasn't
Out of
even,
nowhere.
It didn't even have like a major build-up. All of a sudden, we're just doing it.
Yes, they did.
So,
Best for business.
So TLC happened this past Sunday, and amongst a few things that happened, you had AJ once again retaining the Divas Championship. You had CM Punk beat the Shield, which kind of deflates the Shield. You had
Yeah, but they're already starting to wind them down.
they are,
Which is sad because I mean you used to have tag teams that lasted like a long time, or teams that would last like a long time.
Right. They were like dynasties.
Like
yeah?
if the Shield breaks up, do you really go? Oh no! Like I don't know. Were they around 2 years or something?
No, they actually debuted at Survivor Series last year, so a little bit
Really?
over a year. Yep.
Seems a little, seems a little quick.
Right.
And hopefully, if they do break them up, they have plans for them, things for them to do, so they
Right.
don't just fall apart and Seth Rollins is not on the show anymore.
Right.
and,
Right.
So if they do it, hopefully there's an idea behind that, not just do it, right?
Just do it to do it.
Just do it.
So Punk beats them in a handicap match. The Wyatt family beats Daniel Bryan, and in a surprise twist, nothing happens. Like, I think people were expecting, maybe they'll kidnap him, it'll be the culmination, they'll try to brainwash him. Nothing. They dropped the whole thing.
Yeah, it's Daniel Bryan's situation is very interesting because you kind of saw where they were like, "This is not for you, Daniel. You will not be the champion. You will not be involved in this anymore."
Right.
But the people never gave up on him, despite the terrible booking, despite them trying to make him look like the troll, the small guy, and the no one that they tried to say that he was, right?
Right.
But he won the Superstar of the Year, which is supposedly a legit thing.
Yeah, he did.
Which
Yeah,
they were
the votes.
They were surprised that he won, and it seems like they're kind of working his way back into the title mix. But it's still, from watching it, still seems like John Cena. They're trying to give him the rub still.
Of course.
Like he stands up for him.
Of course.
He gives him the shots.
I will forego my rematch so that he may have the shot.
Right, because you like him, so you like me. Like the thing they always do.
Right. Which we're going to talk about because
But
this
it could
is what
be.
happened on Raw.
Yeah, well, I guess at the end I'll talk about what they could do, which would potentially be good, I think. But.
Okay. So really the only real event that happened at TLC was this main event match, John Cena versus Randy Orton, unifying the titles. And I didn't see it. I mean, I didn't buy TLC. But apparently Cena somehow had, like, the ring rope stuck on him or something.
He was
like,
handcuffed.
Odd. Like, he was handcuffed. Yeah, that's right. He was handcuffed to the ring rope. So he ripped the ring rope off. And as he's climbing up the ladder, Orton grabs the rope and pulls him off the ladder. And then he gets both titles. So Orton is the undisputed champion. Of course, they're not calling him that. Now, it was weird. Because you remember a few weeks ago, they actually had a poll on Raw where you would vote on the app for what it would be called. And I think it was either called the Unified or the Undisputed. That's what won. They scrapped it. They said, we're not going with that. It's now the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And it was weird.
So it's a mouthful right there.
It was weird because I was thinking, what are they going to do? They just made a new belt. They're not going to scrap that belt they just made.
They're just going to get rid of the other one.
You think they're going to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Well, as of this Monday, they did not. Orton had both belts.
One thing I want to mention, though, that pissed me off when they were doing the promos leading up to this, where they were saying this belt goes back to Luthez.
Right.
And all this stuff, because it's really not true at all.
Right.
It goes back to 1991, where the WCW and the NWA title split because Ric Flair took the NWA title with him to the WWF. And then it doesn't even make sense. If it didn't split, it still wouldn't make sense because they unified with Chris Jericho, and then they had Eric Bischoff just gave Triple H the other belt.
Right.
I don't know. So it's kind of insulting. And there still is an NWA title. There has been. There's an NWA title out there. Now, Rob Conway has it. Remember him from a million years ago, but so it's not the same lineage of title, basically.
Right. You're absolutely right. They were saying, like, even the commentators were saying incorrect stuff all the time about this.
That's what WWE does, and it pisses me off that they own all this stuff, they own this footage, and they can just make stuff up.
Yeah, they make shit up.
They do it all the time.
So, all right. So Monday Night
revise
Raw,
history for their own
exactly.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw opened this week with Orton coming out and basically saying he's better than everyone. Everyone was standing on the stage again. He said, I'm better than all of you. That's why I'm the champion. So John Cena speaks up, and he says, well, if you really are the best, that means that you have to prove it every night. So tonight you should have to wrestle. And Orton's like, oh, no, I'm not going to give you your rematch now. I know what you're trying to do. And Cena says, not me. And he turns, and the entire crowd starts chanting yes because they know what's coming. He says, him, and he points to Daniel Bryan. Now, this is what was weird to me. I guess it wasn't a title match, but they said it was. Earlier,
it was just supposed to be a rematch.
I swear to God,
it was supposed to be a title match.
Let me check the results here, because it doesn't. I don't think it's going to say it here. Watch. Yeah, it doesn't say it.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because you didn't.
It doesn't matter.
Win,
but I distinctly remember them saying that this was going to be a title match. But then when they were having the match, they were acting like it wasn't. They were like, well, if Daniel Bryan wins this match, he'll definitely be in the title picture. I was like, what? I thought this is a title match.
Well, if he's the champion, I think he would be in the title picture.
Yeah, so it was real weird. I think there was even confusion on the show.
It doesn't matter anyway.
So the main event was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton for whatever. But, I mean, whatever. It's going to be a good match no matter what.
And that's the thing, but it's like, you watch the show and it's so apparent who the important people are, who's allowed to do certain things, who they're trying to, like, steer the fans towards. You know, it's like, okay, you like Daniel Bryan, you won the Superstar of the Year, so let's feed him to Randy. But John Cena's the one that sets up the match.
Right.
So he's like,
he's
the
Jesus Santa here. He's giving it away, you know.
And then Daniel Bryan gets to lose, so we kind of degrade him a little bit and make Orton look bad. You know, it's all there. You know, it's
right.
It's like the Matrix. You know, it's all there.
So, first match of the night: Big Show and Rey Mysterio, who apparently are now a tag team out of nowhere.
The Big Show, who had this, you know, really terrible storyline, which involved a lawsuit and a concussion, like all the worst things possible were in that storyline. Crying,
yes.
A lawsuit and a concussion, and now it's like only a few weeks later, really, and the whole thing never happened. You know, he's not suing anybody. I guess his what was it?
Got his job back,
strip mall.
So he's happy.
The strip mall's fine.
It's fine. It's doing better.
And now he's off team with Ray because we basically have nothing to do with either one guy.
Right.
So put them together.
Yeah. So they're tag team.
$1 billion company. We can't hire someone that can write a story with these guys. Put them together.
They wrestled the Rhodes Brothers and beat the Rhodes Brothers. And so now they're teasing that this will be like a build up to a title match coming up at some point.
Did this help Cody? This whole storyline?
Nope.
What did it do?
It all did was it did help Goldust.
It helped Goldust because he's on the show.
He's back, you know.
But you could have got a lot more out of that though with the whole thing because there was some heat there. People were pissed. What do you fired Cody and what was going to happen? Dusty's on the show.
Right, it just like fizzled out.
They turned into a tag team.
They got their jobs back and it fizzled out completely.
because they didn't know where to go with it.
Dolph Ziggler and Fandango have a rematch of their TLC pre-show match from the night before. On TLC, Fandango went over. Tonight, Dolph Ziggler goes over. Will this build to anything? Absolutely not. It's probably just wasting their time.
I got the Fandango on the WWE 2K14.
Really?
He's in it now, yeah.
He is?
Yes.
Oh, he's officially in it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you should get him.
I didn't know that.
You can have him fight Macho Man and...
Cool. And then we can have content ID matches on his music, which I did get, by the way.
Did you really? On the,
yes.
On the wrestler's music?
Yep. I got it on his and a few others, but most of them I got cleared up. There's like one I couldn't... I think his was one I couldn't clear up.
You can't clear up the Fandango.
No, I tried and it got disputed. I disputed it and they like denied it. They're like, fuck you.
It's too important.
Too popular.
It's too important.
Stupid.
You don't have the right.
All right. Mark Henry and Big E Langston defeat the Real Americans.
And that's kind of funny because don't they encourage people to do the Fandangoing and all that?
Yes.
They encourage people to like do it, but then it's like, no. Okay.
Well, you can Fandango all you want, but we'll take your ad revenue.
Why don't they like do that for remember the Harlem Shake thing?
Yes.
Why don't they just take all those down? Because they go, you can't use this song.
They probably are now.
They probably are.
They probably are claiming them all.
Okay.
Not even kidding. Like, they probably are.
Wasn't that from this year, that thing?
Harlem Shake?
Yeah.
It was partially this year. It was mostly last year.
And it seems like it was like 20 years ago, doesn't it?
I didn't pay attention to it, so for me it's like a non-entity.
So bizarre.
I seriously never even watched one video of it, so I don't even know what it looks
like. All right, well, if you're doing the Harlem Shake videos now, you might get a content ID claim.
Just do it in silence. The silent shake. That's what you call it, the silent shake. Do it in a soundproofed room in the dark.
Yes.
And film it, and you'll be okay.
There you go.
All right. Ryback and Curtis Axel defeat Tons of Funk because Tons of Funk now have a falling out. Brodus Clay over the past few weeks has had this plot line where he keeps attacking Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods, why don't you come up from developmental. We got this great storyline. We're gonna put you... There was a promo with Brodus that I saw. I put the show on for like 10 minutes. I turned it off after that. But it was like Xavier Woods, and he's talking to him, and he's like, because he stole his music and all that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're a rookie. I'm a main eventer. What do you think you're doing?" It's like Brodus the main. Here's what he said. He's I'm a main eventer.
That's his new gimmick. That's his new cash line now.
Oh, okay.
I'm the main eventer. That's his new. He's not going to be the Funkasaurus anymore.
But no one cares.
I know no one cares.
That's the thing.
So so this was the match where there was a falling out. So they lose this match, and then because Brodus basically did not help Tensai, and then after the match he attacks Tensai and splashes him and everything. And R-Truth and Xavier Woods make the save. So Brodus has gone full-on heel now after weeks of teasing it. He's apparently going to be the main eventer. They're going to rebrand him, and it's probably going to be terrible.
And he will not be in the company in the year.
Probably.
Some people have asked who do you think is the most underrated guy in the WWE? Tensai, I think, is one of them. The guy is incredibly...
he's agile for his size, that's for sure. He's strong.
If you see him in Japan, if you see him way back when he was A-Train or whatever, he was... doing a lot better, but then this is what they give him.
They brought him in with a gimmick.
You shit, you turn to shit.
Yeah.
That's what Steve Austin said when he did his shoot on WCW. They feed you shit, you turn to shit. That's what they did. They fed him shit.
That's a good analogy there.
And that's what they did. That's Steve Austin said that.
All right.
Smart guy.
So now, John, of course, because as you know, because CM Punk was able to defeat the Shield in a 3-on-1 handicap match at TLC. It, of course, means the next night when CM Punk actually has tag team partners that he'll lose. I mean, that's the logical step that you would make, right? I mean, it makes sense.
I don't know.
Not really. So, so the Shield...
Well, doesn't he talk to Shawn Michaels first? And then Shawn makes the match or something?
I don't even remember. I honestly don't even
remember. He had a back and forth. He called out Triple H.
Oh, yeah, here it is. It says right there. Yeah.
He had a back and forth. He called out Triple H, but Shawn came out.
That's right.
And then here's the thing. This goes back to the thing with Daniel Bryan, where it's like certain guys can do certain things. When Brock Lesnar was involved, when Shawn Michaels was involved in the Brock Lesnar story, he was afraid of Lesnar. He's running from him in the back, and Brock is stalking him. He's afraid of him and shit. And he shows no real. CM Punk. He's like nothing. He's just another guy. Punk. His character usually when he gets attacked by someone, he wants to kick their ass. He wants to fight them.
Mm-hmm.
He's pissed off. Oh, it's okay, Shawn. You got me once.
Right.
But if you do it twice, then I'll be upset. So he's got to show him the mold. He's like God, because he's one of the Sean's one of the
Right.
selected gods.
Hall of Famer,
So he used to treat him like a god, and then I'm no one basically, and I'll let this go. And it reminds me of like when he was dealing with Kevin Nash.
That's true. Yeah,
It's like the same kind of.
It was not allowed. He was protected. Not
you
allowed to
you couldn't touch him. You couldn't.
Yep.
It's like I don't know. It's just annoying.
It's
It seemed like those two in the ring. It wasn't bad, but it seemed like you have those two in the ring. It should have been so much better or so much more than that. But it really was just kind of like there, and you're like, yeah. It was like it was just overly scripted. They weren't true to their personalities. Maybe I don't know. Something wasn't right with it, in my opinion. Maybe you enjoyed it. I don't know. It's fine if you did. Yeah. And then they had this match. He made the match, I believe.
Well, actually, it was a fan vote.
Okay,
That was one of the app votes.
It was something like that.
So it was CM Punk and the Usos, and they lose. And it's like, wait a minute. If you could beat him 3-on-1 the night before, now you can't beat him when it's fair. It's real weird. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me anyway. AJ, Tamina, and Alicia Fox team up against Natalya and the Bella Twins, and they win. Who cares? Like, at this point, with the Divas division, I don't know what they're going to do anymore, because AJ's now run through the Bella Twins. She's run through Natalya twice. Like, who's left? Who was the other one earlier this year? Caitlyn. She ran through everyone. She ran through every face. Who the fuck is going to wrestle her now? Like, they kind of ruined the angle. I mean, I dig that she is a really good wrestler and she's the champion, but who's she supposed to wrestle now? Are they going to bring someone up from developmental? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. What else are you going to do?
I'm not too worried about it.
And then the main event.
To be honest with you.
The main event, which was an outstanding match until the conclusion, of course, like as usual with WWE.
And that's a lot of it. Because the guys work hard is the thing. We always say the guys are good in their roles. They work really hard. They're great wrestlers. They're great. Present themselves really well. But then the booking just gets in the way,
right?
And makes you want to like bash your head against the wall and not want to watch.
It was such a good match. I was loving it. And remember how much they gave so much time to it? Did you see it?
I didn't see the whole thing, no.
They gave it more than 20 minutes. Like, the match was long. It was like a pay-per-view quality match. Really well done, spot after spot. I loved it. And I was like, this is what I would have wanted between these guys if they didn't have screw jobs at the end of every fucking pay-per-view that they wrestled. So then WWE decided to ruin it by having a screw job at the end of the fucking match. I was like, can these two have a match? Can you let them have a match?
No, because Daniel Bryan's not supposed to be the guy. So you can't just let it be.
So,
despite everyone wanting it to be, and despite,
right.
It's the logical conclusion to the storyline.
Unbelievable.
That's not what they were supposed to happen, so. What happens?
Well,
you never told us.
Orton kicks him in the balls at the end of the match because he's afraid he's going to lose. Ref sees it, DQs him, and that's it. And it's like, come on, man. You couldn't. No, they couldn't. And again, confusion on the show. At one point they said it was a title match, then they kind of changed it mid-show, and you don't know what it is anymore. And I don't even know what it was. Like, what are they going to do now? So now is Bryan in the title picture? Or Cena, he still owed a rematch? What the fuck's going on? You're just left with this confusion in your head at the end of the show. Like, what did I just see? What's going on?
So I think we actually talked about this the last Smark guys, where we said for TLC there's either going to be no finish, or Cena's going to get screwed, and then win the Rumble, and then go to WrestleMania. It looks like that's what's going to happen. But they have an opportunity here with Daniel Bryan. They fucked it up. I'm going to curse this program. Is that okay? I'm going to do it.
Whoa.
I already did it, so I can't go back.
Whoa.
Well, they screwed it up. He should have just won at SummerSlam and have a run. Everyone that was the magic moment. They took it away. A lot of people said, "No, they're going to make it better." He's chasing it. It was never a chase. It was a red herring. It was a way to just stall for time. And they screwed it up. They could have made another big superstar out of Daniel Bryan, a made man. Instead, they didn't do it. But they have an opportunity to do it now. They can still fix it. You have him win the Rumble.
Right.
You have him some way even get into the match at WrestleMania. It's a three-way fight.
Right, a three-way.
But you have an opportunity. You still do this. You can still salvage the disaster you created, the mess you made. You still fix it. And hopefully that's what they do. I don't think they will.
Who knows? A lot of things usually go pretty nuts between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So who knows what's going to happen. Maybe The Rock will come back and he'll want his rematch. Yes.
He's not coming back because they would already be pushing that.
I know.
He's done. Another thing that's interesting, though, if they don't do that, the Shawn Michaels Daniel Bryan match, that's very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that
I would like to see that. Absolutely would I like to see that.
Right.
But the thing is, Michaels is retired. He said, he's done. He said he was
They've definitely been hinting at that, though, that he's going to come back for a own match. I think it would be awesome, like, But WrestleMania is almost become a nostalgia show. It's almost like a tribute show in a lot of ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the cards of the last couple of years, it's like, this guy's back for one night, this guy's back. Right. It's a tribute to 2005, it's like...
So. And WWE eats that shit up too. He's like, oh, the student, will he surpass the teacher? They're going to fucking promote it for months like that.
Plus, I think they would screw up the match, because I think they would go, okay, Shawn versus Bryan. There's not enough there. We need to add, okay, this guy's in this corner. No.
Special guest referee Triple H.
Right, this guy's doing this.
There you go.
Like, it's not an attraction. It needs to be more of an attraction. We can't just have a match. And then there'd be some kind of ending to it that would, that'd be another fear that would have. But as far as just like a match, like, that's really interesting. If they can't do that, he's got to be in the title picture in some way,
The only other thing that I want to mention before we move on to TNA, who do you think they're going to have Taker wrestle at WrestleMania this year? Because I have a theory, but I could be wrong.
I would almost give you 99% it's going to be Lesnar.
You really think so?
Yes.
That wasn't my theory.
Okay.
My theory is the Shield. I think he's going to wrestle the Shield in a handicap match. He's going to beat him, and at the end of the match, Reigns is going to turn on the other two and go face, and that'll be like the big thing. That's how the Shield breaks up.
I think that's I like that, but I think they would go, the Shield's not good enough for him. It's not. They want Undertaker versus this. They want like that.
The epic level.
They want that billboard of the two heads.
Right.
Sean Bryan.
Right.
Cena Orton. Undertaker. Like they put it like that. It's going to be Punk and Triple H is going to happen. I assume. Punk and Triple H. So that's what they want to do. But that's what I would guess.
All right. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about TNA. This week, as we said, was the culmination of many weeks of programming. We had the end of the World Title Tournament with Jeff Hardy versus Magnus. We've had a gauntlet match, a 2 out of 3 falls match between Angle and Rude. We have Feast or Fired. So there's a lot going on. This week. So first of all, the show opens up with Magnus coming out and saying that at the end of last week's show, it was filmed that Jeff Hardy went out and had drinks with Dixie Carter. And what did they talk about? He demands to know, did Jeff sell out again like he did on 10-10-10?
Oh, no, they brought that up?
Oh, yeah. So Jeff comes out. He says, no, he's not the same person he was back then, and you need to be given the benefit of the doubt, but his business is his business, and he will not reveal what they talked about. So basically, it's teased all night. Multiple people talked to Jeff during the night. You got Joe, Sting. They talked to him backstage, and he will not allude to what the conversation was about.
Did it involve the Wheel of Dixie?
No. I don't think so. So, let's talk about the matches of the night. Kurt Angle versus Bobby Roode, 2 out of 3 falls match. This was just such a waste.
Why?
Because you have two guys, you had a great opportunity to have a match here where both guys go over because they can both really show off what they can do. Instead, they made Bobby Roode go complete cheesy heel, and he wins both of his falls by cheating.
Would he throw the freaking martini in his face?
No, first, behind the ref's back, I don't know what the fuck the ref was looking at. He kicks Angle in the balls and does his finisher. So that's the first fall. The second fall, Angle does a wicked Angle slam. It was crazy. He lifts him up, and you know how normally on an Angle slam he like rotates him and slams him? He lifted him way the fuck up above his head, and he dropped him on his face. It was like a wicked Angle slam. So that looked good. I was like, wow, that was good. The ending... Rude, it was so stupid. He reverses Angle, and not only is he grabbing the ropes during his pin attempt, his legs are also on the ropes. So it's a double cheat, and the ref doesn't see it. The ref's right fucking there, and he doesn't see it.
It's like TNA, the ref's like, there's something wrong.
Like he's blind.
They find these guys are like mental institutes or something, and they're like this crazy dude. Like, I love when they use the beer bottle, and the ref lays in the glass.
Right, like you don't see it.
He's laying in the glass and counting in glass. And he's like, there's no idea, It
was just so dumb. And of course, after the match, a promo with Angle, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. Because it's one thing to be out-wrestled, and it's another thing when someone, like, one-ups you and has your number, and I think that Roode might have my number. I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. It was just like, it's so lame. Like, why can't Roode win one fall legit? No, that's going to be stupid, heelish bullshit. You get tired of it. I
do. It's like, well, I don't. So I'm kind of done with with them. With the. Well, I watch it here and there, but WWE and TNA just drives me crazy. So I just can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
There's a segment with Eric Young and Joseph Park. Now, last week.
Yeah, I know about this.
Last week, Eric Young proposed to Joseph Park that you are Abyss. And that's why you can't find your brother, because you are him.
You
he doesn't
are
exist. And so this week he wants to try to remind him, right? So he says, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 3 presents, and then I'm going to propose something. So he gives him 3 presents. The first one is a steel chair. Then he gives him a bag full of tacks. Then he gives him barbed wire.
He gives him Abyss's old underwear they found.
Oh. Abyss's old jock strap that he wore in all his matches.
Yes.
And then he says, next week you have a match. It's going to be a Monsters Ball handicap match against Bad Influence. To which Park's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You're out of your mind. I'll get killed. He says, well, then, if that is the case, I got one more present for you. I'll go look under the ring. And he looks it out, and he brings it out. It's Janice. Remember Janice, the 2x4 with nails sticking out of it?
Yeah, remember when they said he punctured RVD over 500 times, and then RVD came back with a T-shirt, and then he 2 weeks later he just took it off and he was perfectly okay.
Yeah. So then he's looking at Janice and he says, "I'll do it." It was crazy. It was creepy. He's like, "I'll do it." It was a creepy voice. Like, what the fuck?
I'll do it.
So he's now all of a sudden next week we're gonna have this match, and it's looking like Abyss is gonna come back full time eventually. We have to see what happens with this. All right, we got a match. Last week we had a big return. Madison Rayne is back because they pretty much have no more face knockouts to wrestle Gail Kim anymore. So she comes back as a face, and they have a tag match: Gail Kim and Lady Tapa versus ODB and Madison Rayne. And of course the faces go over, teasing that eventually it's going to be Madison Rayne for the Diva or the Knockouts title, with probably ODB in her corner, so she'll neutralize Lady Tapa in this match. But it wasn't announced, but it seems like that's what they're leading to, what they're going to build up to.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be good, because they said to have slightly better women's matches.
Right.
They go a little further with the action.
They do Feast or Famine. There's this whole
Feast or Fired.
I'm sorry, Feast or Fired. Yeah. Yes, where Sting.
It's basically, what is it? If people don't know, it's basically Money in the Bank.
Right. They did this last week. Was the match, by the way?
It's several. Yeah. It's several briefcases.
4
briefcases. One's for a title. Each one's for 3 are for title shots. One is you're fired.
You're fired, right?
And then they did open them yet on the show?
They did on the show.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So here's the results.
Right. So who won them? It was Zima Ion, Ethan Carter III, Chavo Guerrero, and Gunner.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know who wins this. What is it?
So they open their briefcases. First, it's Zima Ion. He gets an X Division title shot. Wow, what a fucking surprise! Wow, that was
what a coincidence that the guy that is a former ex-champion gets the X title.
Stupid. Gunner, who
fired
during the Feast or Fired match, he basically snuck attacked James Storm in order to get the briefcase. Okay, so there's bad blood between them. He opens the briefcase. It's a world title shot.
For Gunner?
For Gunner.
I don't want to see that.
So now they're basically, what's going to happen. He's going to
lose.
He's going to lose. Storm's going to attack him. They're going to have a fucking program, basically. They do this with every tag team, by the way. You notice that? Remember Magnus
and Joe?
That
really does the same thing.
This is the same fucking thing.
This is what's going to happen with the Shield, and this will happen to the Wyatts in a year. They don't invest in the teams for long term. It's right. And then they do a cheap story. That's a cheap storyline where one guy turns on the other. Because it worked for Shawn Michaels in 1991 or 2. So let's just do it forever.
Let's do it forever.
Yeah, it's one guy always gets one guy's always the Jannetty is what they say, and he's basically forgotten, and the other guy goes on to bigger things. But you got to do it when it matters, when it means something. If the team doesn't matter in the first place, like the Storm Gunner team, is that oh my god, they broke up?
Right.
That great team, who cares, So.
So you're about down to the last 2, EC3 and Chavo. And one of them's going to get fired, and one of them's going to get a tag team title shot. And it was funny, because right before this segment had aired, EC3 was on the phone with Dixie, and somehow the cameraman could hear the phone perfectly. It was so stupid.
Yeah, it goes
and
back
Dixie basically told him, you're not protected. If you get fired, you're fired. I can't save you. Which makes no sense, because she owns the fucking company. But whatever.
The Feast or Fired is so legit.
Right.
It's written into the contracts.
So as they're about to open their briefcases, Sting storms into the room. And he says to EC3, you entitled, asshole. The only reason you did this match was because I convinced you last week. But I don't want to see Chavo go if he has the fired. So here's what I want to do. Let's have a match. And what was it? And give me the briefcase, and we'll have a match. It was weird. It was you have to wrestle me, but I'll take the briefcase. It didn't even make sense. Like, what he proposed, it was like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, why would he do
that?
It's
basically like if he'll get fired, I guess, if he'll put us on the line or something. I don't really get it, but
I didn't get it either because it wouldn't either way. If Chavo had the fired briefcase, it wouldn't have saved Chavo. It didn't make sense.
Basically, Sting is going away for a little bit because his contract's coming to an end too.
Oh, really?
So he'll probably go into some kind of negotiation period,
Ugh.
similar to what AJ's been doing.
So it was very odd, and it didn't make sense. And of course, EC3 denies it anyway. So they open their briefcases, and Chavo's fired. And it's like Chavo's like sitting there crying, like, oh my god, like they haven't done anything with him in so long anyway. It was not a surprise, that he was going to get fired. He would have been the one I would have picked, out of those four, who would be going anyway. So Chavo's unemployed again. I'm sure he's happy about that.
Honestly, like they probably shouldn't have brought him in the first place. I mean, I don't know.
That's true. What did he do since he was there?
There was nothing going on there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's legit or not, but I guess he's going away for a bit anyway.
All right. So now the main event, and this is weird because before the main event starts, first of all, it's a Dixie Land match, which I don't even know if you know about this. What this is?
Yeah. I couldn't even follow it.
All right.
It's like something
match.
WCW would have done in
is.
1996 or something.
That is an extremely accurate way to describe it. So first you start in a cage. You're supposed to climb out of the cage. Now they specifically say at the beginning of the match you have to climb out of the cage. Then there's a ladder at the top of the ramp, and the title is suspended above the ladder. Now how they got the title belt back, I have no idea because they never showed it getting taken from AJ. So it makes no fucking sense. They have a title belt, okay?
Well, I guess it's another copy.
But if that's the case, why did Dixie care about getting it back in the first place?
Because it's worth $100 or something. I don't know.
It was dumb.
We could sell that in the shop zone.
So those are the rules of the match. Keep in mind they violate the rules of the match multiple times during the match, and we'll talk about that. But
that's WCW because they no one it's like they build it and then no one knows. The commentators don't know what the hell the rules are, and the wrestlers have no idea.
So they do whatever they want. Before the match, Dixie confronts Jeff and says, "Listen, Jeff, you better do what I tell you. You're gonna basically be my tool from now on." Because you're the only reason you're still with the company after you pulled that 10-10-10 shit is because I forgave you and didn't fire you.
Yeah, why'd you forgive Hogan and make him in charge of the company? He was the one that did it. This is WWE where you're supposed to remember certain parts of things, but not the whole picture. You're like,
it's terrible. It's a terrible end. This whole thing makes no fucking sense. Okay, so this happens, and she's like, "You're gonna do what I tell you. We're gonna make sure that basically the right person wins this match." Jeff says, "No, I'm not going to do what you tell me. I'm my own person, so screw you. Regardless of if my family and everything's at risk, I don't care." So then during the match...
family? Like his brother? That's what he's talking about?
So then during the match, EC3 comes out and stands at the top of the ramp near the ladder. So you know something's going to come into play here, okay? So... during the course of the match, Jeff tries to escape through the camera hole. Remember the hole we talked about that they cut a weird hole inside of the cage? The cameraman films through it.
Yeah.
And we're like, but you announced the rules where you have to escape the cage from the top. Why is he trying to do that? And it makes no sense. And then later in the match, they forget about that and they climb the cage. It's like, but the hole's right there. Go through it, and they don't do it.
Yeah, it's very WCW style.
Yeah, it's really...
the commentators don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's such a weird match. It just makes no sense.
People gotta look up. It was Macho Man and Hogan versus the Dungeon of Doom in this giant cage. And it's supposed to be like you go through each level and like you fight a guy and like you have to pin him and then you can go to the next level. But then they just started guys started coming in different things. And then it wasn't even supposed to be pinfall, it was supposed to be just escape, but Macho Man pinned Flair.
What the
And the ref was just counted and no one knew what the fuck. Yeah, it's a hilarious thing to watch.
So it's pretty much similar to that. Rules are broken, no one knows what's going on.
The commentators had no idea what was supposed to be going on.
Jeff's about to escape the cage and instead does a whisper in the wind from the top of the cage. It's so odd. I want to be the champion. No, fuck it. Whisper in the wind out of nowhere. It's like,
I'm crazy.
What are you doing? So stupid. So finally, both wrestlers are at the top of the cage, okay? And both wrestlers are going to escape the cage. So EC3 comes over, throws Jeff off the cage, right? Magnus comes over, starts fighting with EC3.
Really?
So now he gets knocked down. Jeff knocks out EC3. So now they're both going for the ladder. They're fighting on the ramp, back and forth. And Jeff does a twist of fate on the ramp. So it looks like Magnus is knocked out. So Jeff goes, he climbs the ladder. Dixie grabs him. She's trying to stop him. He shakes her off. He's about to grab the title. Stupid rockstar fucking Spud comes out and pushes the ladder over. Jeff takes a nasty fucking spill. I feel bad for him because they made him fall on the ramp. You know, that's fucking steel.
Yeah, he'll do stuff like that. You know, it's I don't know.
Nasty spill. So he's fucked up now.
I don't know if it's worth it.
Who knows if he's even hurt? I mean, it was bad.
I don't know if it's worth his time to be doing crazy shit like that.
So Magnus gets up, and this is where I was so disgusted. Okay, so Magnus gets up. Now, what's he supposed to do? He's not working for Dixie, right? So, do you win? Do you, out of protest, say, I refuse to be the champion because I don't support Dixie? It makes no sense. But that's what the announcers are, like, saying. No, Magnus, don't do it this way. Like, what do you want him to do? Just stand there and do nothing?
Just go home.
I'm leaving, you know.
Yeah.
I refuse. It makes no fucking sense. So, of course, he climbs the ladder and he's the champion. And it's like, and then Dixie's applauding. Like, what? What? You're not, what? So now you know what's... I mean, this is my theory. The next few weeks they'll say, oh, he was in cahoots all along, and now he's Dixie's tool. And they'll do this angle. It makes no sense. Because he wasn't. If you actually watch the show, he wasn't. He didn't abuse the system to win. He had to win. What are you going to do? Not wrestle anymore? Or end the match? I forfeit? It just... The whole thing makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they taped all this a while ago. I know kind of what happens, but I'm going to be checking it out next couple of weeks to see the final days of AJ Styles. This basically what the runs this next arc is going to be about, basically.
Right,
so.
the end of AJ.
But anyway, I like Magnus. I think he's good. That he won. I predicted this, so I think I predicted Jeff and Magnus when they first started the tournament.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, you can usually figure it out because it's always a face and a heel, and then in WWE and TNA, it's always a face and a heel in the finals, and you can look at where people are and figure it out. But he's a fresh face, I think, and I think it could be interesting with him. It's not like the same old thing. It's not like, Angle or freaking...
Right. Well, I'm hoping that they actually make Magnus the face, and they don't fuck it up and try to make him the heel now because, he sides with Dixie.
No, he's more of the heel. Because they've been playing at this for a while. That's why I said he's the heel, because he's had the tension with Sting, and then he, what was it, Bound for Glory and all that and stuff, so...
Why do they do this? Why? It's terrible. It's terrible.
I'm going to TNA next week. I'm going to do a show on, I think it's a Monday night or something, which is kind of weird. From the pay-per-view tapings.
Huh.
On the 30th, I'll be there. In New York. And I watched Ring of Honor Final Battle was on last Friday. I watched half of it. I'm still working on it. Chris Hero's back there. Cashizono. You want to call him that?
Not many other places to go. I mean, shit.
Well, these guys are bouncing around, but it's good. It's good because they get to wrestle again and do cool stuff again. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, the parts of the show I saw were awesome. The Young Bucks are amazing. If I was to give you one of the best things in all of wrestling right now, the Young Bucks are one of them. Just amazing. It's a spectacle to behold. So that stuff's fun, Yeah, so I saw Cashizono got released. A lot of people were like upset, and they're going, we want to sign a petition. I won't be able to see him again. Blah blah blah. It's like, no, you can watch him. He's out there pretty much every week on some kind of pay-per-view or something, doing a great match that they probably would never let him have in their company. So
that's true.
Still out there. Check it out. It's good stuff.
All right, so that is it for this edition of Smark, guys. Now, I don't even know if we've determined next week if we're going to do one or not. I mean...
I don't know if I can come next week. We got to figure it out. So
right. I mean, it is the holiday season, everyone, obviously. So, depending on what happens, we might or might not do one next week. But we will be back at least sometime in January, probably early January. I'm going to take that first week off because I'm spending it with my girlfriend. But, coming up, it's going to be the build-up to the Royal Rumble. We're going to see what TNA does with this new title run. Like you said, the return of AJ. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, that's pretty much it for this time, but next time should be pretty interesting as we move into the new year and we see what exactly happens. So, everyone, on behalf of myself and John Rambo, I would like to wish everyone a very happy holidays. It's a very
holidays.
Hectic, festive time of year. Be safe. Don't do anything. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Well, really?
So basically, do anything you want.
Do anything you want.
And, we'll be back in a few weeks. And Happy New Year as well, just in case if we don't come back.
Fill your bathtub with eggnog. Get the mistletoe out and invite some people over.
Wow.
That's a Christmas Eve to behold, my friends.
And then get in the tub, naked, and then have arrows in your house pointing to the bathroom.
Whoa,
so
what the hell?
Ring the just come in.
Oh my God, that's a whole other level.
Alrighty then. Thanks everyone for watching, Smart Guys. We appreciate it. We'll see ya when we see ya. It might be next week or it might be a few weeks. I'll let you know, obviously, if you follow me on Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. I usually announce this kind of stuff. Thanks. Happy holidays. Peace out. See you later.